Good morning, everybody. This is Kathy Nolan of Kathy Nolan Art, and I am wishing you all a fantastic Friday. And I wanted to share with you what I learned from Bold Marketing Worldwide. Bold Marketing Worldwide is actually a marketing agency that hosted a little marketing meetup last night, and I'm glad I went. I'm glad I went because I learned a lot from the event. I shared my story on Instagram about how the CEO, Brian Cristiano, built a $100 million business over time, of course. And he also gave us some really great marketing tips, which I'm going to share with you and draw for you. So tip number one with marketing. With social media, as you know, there are the three main channels. On your app, I'm sure you have on your phone, LinkedIn, Instagram, and then Facebook. So one of the things I learned from Brian was that Instagram, you should be posting educational stuff. People on LinkedIn want to learn about who you are, who you serve. A great way to connect with someone on LinkedIn is to not only do an introduction of yourself, but maybe send that person, hey, I was thinking about you and with your work and what you do, here's a cool article that you might enjoy reading, or commenting on the LinkedIn if somebody posts something really cool on LinkedIn, comment on their LinkedIn page. Because when you make a comment, you're showing that person interest and showing them that, hey, I really appreciate what you posted and I got a lot of value out of it. It's always about providing value and also learning and providing really great content that people can use for their businesses. So keep that in mind with LinkedIn. That's kind of what you would like to post on your LinkedIn. Instagram is more of a personal social media thing where, you know, people just want to know who you are. Like, do you have dogs? Do you have cats? Do you maybe like ice cream that's vanilla or homemade, you know, whatever, or where do you live? Do you live in the country? Do you live in the city? Who do you hang out with? And sometimes also they like to know behind the scenes, like what's going on behind the scenes in your business. So factor that in, that Instagram is used for that. Facebook is sort of in between the two. So for example, you might want to do a little bit of educational stuff on Facebook. You might want to do a little bit of personal stuff on Facebook. It's kind of like a combination of the two. So just factor all those three things in. And then the other thing I loved learning last night was the art of following up. Follow up. So like next week, I'm going to Social Media Marketing World, and you know, you meet a lot of great people, you're networking, you're like collecting all these awesome business cards. And I struggle with this, I'll be honest with you guys. The follow-up. The fortune is always in the follow-up. So how do you go about doing that? I know we all have to do it, and I really loved the story that the CEO of Bold Marketing shared with us last night. So he met this really awesome potential client who he wanted to be a client. So he met this really great client at a networking event, and he was like, hey, I want to do business with you. And the other guy's like, yeah, no problem. Email me. He worked for Red Bull. So long story short, what happened was they meet at a networking event. And of course, the next day, he sends him an email and then a phone call. One time. But you remember, in sales, you have to sometimes do things several times to get that in. So he constantly started to send him a lot of emails and phone calls. Nothing was working. So he's like, okay, I got to do something that's going to make me stand out and be creative. So he sent him little boxes of empty Red Bull cans once a week. and still no response. No response to following up with an email or a phone call. So then he started sending him larger boxes of empty Red Bull cans. So meanwhile, he's sending this person he wants to get a hold of the empty Red Bull cans, just trying to get his attention. Call me. Let's have that meeting. Finally, he started sending really big boxes of empty Red Bull cans. So meanwhile, this guy at his desk is having all of these empty Red Bull cans at his desk. And finally, he was just like, it's been 2 months. I've been doing everything I can. Life happens. And he just stopped sending him empty Red Bull cans. What do you think happened? You want to know what happened? So what happened was he was like, oh, is he okay? I haven't seen my empty boxes of Red Bull coming in. So he finally called him. And that's when he finally got his appointment with the Red Bull guy. It's a great, funny story, but what it's saying is don't ever give up on that prospect lead. Sometimes you have to think outside of the box and get really creative. And so definitely do the emailing about what you want to do and serve for that person. And also definitely let that person know who you are and why you want to get to meet with them. Why do you want to serve them? And if you have to send empty Red Bull cans to get somebody's attention, I wouldn't advise that, but sometimes you just do what you have to do to get that person's attention. And that is the key thing about following up. You're not bugging them. You are like, no, you don't understand. You need me to help you to get to where you really want to go. And that being said, I will share with you guys a wonderful blessing and weekend, and hope you enjoyed the story. And make sure you follow me at Kathy Nolan Art on Twitter and Instagram, and on LinkedIn as Kathy Nolan. Thank you. Bye-bye.